Assalamu alaikum guys, we're here today at Speaker's Corner. For those who don't know us, I'm Sayyid Ali, Mr. brother Hassan Bukhari. Today Mr. Hassan Bukhari is going to give us a bit of a background in terms of why we're doing this video.
Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Bayt al-Ghadid channel. We are live. It's the 2nd of September. We are at Speaker's Corner and we thought it's a good time to provide an update of where we are with things, how things have progressed, and inshallah ta'ala we will then deal with the second part of today's program. We don't come here regularly. There has been some criticism of late by certain individuals who are very fond of getting themselves noticed, very fond of themselves being kind of getting this sort of wider credibility to be sort of Shi'a slayers. Not literally, but certainly with their tongue.
Well, you never know.
Exactly. And essentially those individuals have kind of been intimating that there is some sort of fear on our part for not turning up when they do. People need to understand, at no point have we ever said that we would be here every week. It's never been our intention to do so. We do not regard attendance at Hyde Park Speaker's Corner on a Sunday as particularly conducive in terms of dawah. Why have we come? We came here, we started coming here several months ago towards the latter part of last year, purely by coincidence. It was the 40th day of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. We attended that day and we noticed how much sort of vitriol there was against Shia Muslims. The sort of the type of language that was being used, the type of abuse that we were facing, the sort of wrong comments that were being bandied about the belief of Shia Muslims. And hence we thought, well, when we were there, the idea was we were going to address that, knock it on the head. The problem is, historically, Speaker's Corner has effectively almost become like the exclusive right of one group of people. No other Muslims have managed to have a voice because those very vocal individuals have almost stacked their authority in saying this is the only version of Islam that's allowed to be sort of presented at Speaker's Corner. So when we came there and kind of challenged some of those viewpoints, we were met with a lot of hostility and we tried to defend our corner. If you recall, not even non-Muslims made comments that we were a breath of fresh air when we attended because we weren't as aggressive as the sorts of exactly those individuals that they normally associated with Islam. Now, does that mean since attending we have to attend every week? No. We want to make this very clear. At no point did we ever say that we would essentially make this part of our lives and attend every week.
Some of us have other commitments.
Absolutely.
We have family commitments.
It's a Sunday, we've got work commitments, family commitments, other responsibilities.
And on the other hand, you've got people who are willing to drive hundreds of miles
Absolutely.
To come to the park and misrepresent Shias.
Exactly, and I think this is the problem. As soon as we did attend, we started sort of seeking to set the record straight, and I think that kind of enthused us to establish the channel itself. And our whole objective, we need to understand this, has not been an anti-other sect platform. Our idea has been to present what we as Shia Muslims believe. That's been the idea. That's why Bayt al-Ghadid channel was established for that purpose. But rather than take that on that point on view, we've had these individuals now trying to sort of propagate themselves into this sort of polemics by attending from, like you said, hundreds of miles away, attending and just bringing out...
Some of them are clerics. Some of them,
clerics, which we are. Bringing out books, misrepresenting Shias, not presenting the full text, or if they do present the text, they won't be honest. For example, they won't present the authenticity of the text, of the scholar, but they will intentionally play games. Listen, I'll be honest with you, I could bring out books like that. I've got hundreds and hundreds of books at home, which you guys would probably think I'm addressing those individuals that are throwing sort of insults at us at Hyde Park when they attend. You might not think it's authentic, but they would count as Sunni works. I could happily open them up and start reading them all out and saying, oh, this is what Sunnis believe. Oh, sorry, this is what Salafis believe. This is what Deobandis believe. Is that an honest way to do it?
No.
What sort of methodology are you guys doing? You're presenting texts, and we know this isn't original. Don't think for a second that we don't know
These arguments.
those arguments.
These arguments are old, recycled.
Those are old, recycled arguments. They've been going on for the last, probably for decades, but certainly since the last 20 years, particularly when we've been involved in polemics, we've seen them on anti-Shia websites. So when you bring out a book and say, oh, look at this, the Shias believe this, don't try and present this as some sort of new fact that we don't know about.
Of course.
What was one of those sort of experts bringing out yesterday? Which book was he? Was it Kashf al-Ghumma?
Kashf al-Ghumma.
Kashf al-Ghumma, for example, he was presenting that as a Shia work when he knows, even in the introduction, the author said that this is a collection of Sunni and Shia narrations. So, if you want to use that form of dishonesty, we can do the same.
But we're not dishonest people.
We are not dishonest people, and we are not going to stoop to that sort of...
And we're not going to misrepresent other people's views and beliefs.
Absolutely. We've always said about very clearly since we set the channel, that's been our objective, that we are not going to present weak narrations. We are not going to misrepresent your school of thought. On the whole, our whole objective is to present our own. Yeah. And if there is something we can prove from your texts, we will present that too. But today is a different day. And it's unfortunate because, you know what it is? We are 100% individuals that are pro-unity amongst Muslims. Today there is a march going on at the Dutch embassy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over the sort of, I know it's now been aborted, but there was an intention to have a competition. Was it a drawing competition?
Yeah.
Against the Prophet, peace be upon him and his family. That's something that affects all of us as Muslims. It pains us all. So obviously, in that aspect, we all form part of the same ummah, and we have the same feelings, and we are brothers of one another. And if you look at historically, Sunnis and Shias have worked together. For example, the independence movement in India was done by Sunnis and Shias Muslims working together. Our whole idea is one of unity. We are not here to sort of foment hatred or sectarianism. Our idea is that we as Shia Muslims, this is what we believe, this is why we believe it.
And then you got people intentionally asking political questions to Shias in the park.
Yeah.
What do you think about Bashar al-Assad? Do you support Bashar al-Assad?
Yeah.
Yeah. These people would happily support the Taliban.
Yeah. Absolutely. They play these sort of games, but the problem that we have, people have been contacting you about unity.
Yeah.
From Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
I received numerous calls
100%
from high members of the Sunni community saying that, look, there's no need to go to the park. And I agreed with them. I said there's no need to go to the park. And if anything, such discussion and dialogues, all it does, it causes disunity amongst Muslims. However, when you've got individuals coming to the park and misrepresenting the Shia views and beliefs, then we as Shias, we must stand up against this injustice that's been done against us.
Absolutely. I think, unfortunately, it is unfortunate we've been left with no choice. We've come down today to essentially set the record straight, and we're going to hold aloft a mirror directly, particularly at the dynamic duo that have been in attendance. Correct?
Yeah, the dynamic duo, and I think these are...
Where are they from?
They're somewhere from north of
Dewsbury,
England.
the dynamic duo of Dewsbury, should we say? Those individuals think they're really funny and very clever by misrepresenting Shia text, just reading out any source, not proving its authenticity or anything.
So today, inshallah ta'ala, what we're going to inshallah do...
We're going to bring the matter home for you guys. So today, inshallah, is a special gift.
Yeah, this is our gift.
For the Sheikhain.
Gift from the Shias.
Exactly. We have books. You don't think we don't know what's in your books. Today, I brought from my library 2 books.
Oh, we've got hundreds of your books. Don't get us wrong. They've been collecting dust in the basement.
Exactly.
For now, we've left them there.
I put them away. My daughter had her GCSEs this year, and I put all my books away, not thinking I need them. But all of a sudden, I've had to spend hours getting through them all, bringing them all out, just for you guys. So this is a gift for the Sheikhain. You need to understand that if you're going to play with fire, you'll get burnt too.
Yeah.
So, inshallah ta'ala, we will today present 2 prime sources of the Deobandi school of sect.
Not just hadith books, but books written by
your ulama,
founding, by
your
ulama.
founding fathers.
Yeah.
And then let's see you come and explain that at Hyde Park, inshallah, next time you attend. And also, brothers, next time you do attend, like I said, we don't come regularly, but inshallah ta'ala, we do pray that we do have the opportunity to meet in Hyde Park. And for the two brothers from the north that have been attending, the Shaykhan, we have for you, brothers, the Shaykhan,
two books
of your esteemed ulama. So what we've done today is...
Can you give a background in terms of who the Deobandis are? Because
exactly.
I think it's important.
I think it's important to understand that these Deobandis, and these are the two individuals that have been attending, they are from the Deobandi sect. Okay?
Without doubt.
They are the followers of Imam Abu Hanifa in terms of fiqh. They hail originally from Deoband in India. The sect is where its foundation is. They do themselves as the true followers of Imam Abu Hanifa. Some of their beliefs are very, very close to Salafism.
Yeah, they're kind of like a cocktail between Sufis and Salafis.
Yeah, exactly. Sufis and absolutely, they certainly are. But they also have concepts of silsilas as well.
Yes.
They have like peers and marids and this sort of concept that you get amongst the Sufis. And in terms of their main writers, they have many main writers. Allama Maki is one of them. Allama Ashraf Ali Thanvi
is another. And they've got statements from... Yeah, he's another.
So I mean, in terms of their sort of founding fathers, so what we do today is we thought...
We've got two famous books of this.
We've got two of their famous works.
Oi.
What we thought is there can be no doubt. If we read these books out, you'll know this is what these guys believe.
Yeah. Today we're going to look at the kufri, the kufri akidah within their books. Because the truth is, most of our Deobandi brothers and sisters, they may not be aware about these things written in the books. The reason being is because most of their books are written in Urdu. So unless you know Urdu, you won't know what they believe.
Now we know why they didn't want to call themselves Deobandi.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we know.
Exactly. And essentially, so the two books that we've got today, Arwa Salasa. Okay, this book, I'm just going to put it up. So there's no doubt who it's written by, Hazrat Maulana Shah Ashraf Ali Thanvi Sahib. So essentially, that's one of their founding forefathers. And this is about the lives of the awliya, essentially the Deobandis.
Yeah, according to the Akhbarin, who they consider to be the righteous awliya. And it contains numerous stories. This whole book is filled with stories and fairy tales and dreams and all sorts.
The very sort of things that they've been mocking Shi'as about, inshallah, we're
going to be discussing that.
We'll be discussing that. That's one. And the other book is Imdad al-Mushtaq. This is a very, very famous book of the Deobandis. And again, it's very clear who's written it. Hakim al-Ummat Maulana Ashraf Alvi Sahab Thanvi. And it's Tazkira, means the life of Hazrat Maki Sahab. Basically, he's one of their major scholars. Okay? So essentially, these are the two books we're going to use today. We're going to discuss two topic areas. You know something? I want to just mention, was it him or was it the other guy that mentioned, basically there was some sort of comment saying, by one of our scholars, saying that we, the Shi'as, we do not believe
in the same Allah,
in the same Allah, as those that
other sects,
as other sects
of Islam.
That was what was said. We do not believe in the same God. So,
or we don't believe in the same prophet. It was a statement by Ayatollah Nemat al-Jazairi from his book Anwar al-Namaniya. And what he does is, Ayatollah Nemat al-Jazairi, he says that we do not believe in the same prophet, same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as them, and we do not believe in the same prophet as them. But there was a context here. And you want to mention the context? Or?
Let's be honest, I mean, if you look at it deep down, we don't believe in the concept of God. We do differ. We don't believe that God has hands or feet or runs.
Or sits on a chair.
Or gets fat.
Yeah.
So we do have a different concept of God. So if that causes offence, so be it.
Yeah, and in terms of the Prophet, I mean, do we believe in the same Prophet? We don't believe the Prophet Astaghfirullah married a 6-year-old for a start. We don't believe the Prophet received satanic verses. We don't believe the Prophet was going to contemplate suicide. We don't believe the Prophet was going to go touch some random woman and ask to marry her. Many examples, and these are all found in the most authentic books in Bukhari. But today we're not discussing Bukhari. Today we're discussing two books, Imdad al-Mushtaq and Arwa Salasa, which is a book about the miracles of the saints according to the Deobandis. So, what we're going to do, because the book's in Urdu, I'm not going to read the Urdu. I'm going to be, all the references are all here. Maybe with this video we'll include the references, and if anyone disagrees with what we're saying, they're welcome to have a look at themselves in the book and read it for themselves. So the first thing we're going to discuss today is on the concept of Wahadat al-Wujud. For those who do not know what Wahadat al-Wujud is, Wahadat al-Wujud is the belief on the unity of existence. What I mean by this is in everything in existence that we have, everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, meaning the trees, the grass, this land I stand in, me and you, a dog, a cat, feces, everything. Even though at face value they may seem something different, but in reality there's unity of existence, meaning that everything is bound to Allah. Everything is connected to Allah and is part of Allah. In English they call it, is it pantheism?
Yeah.
Pantheism. So so I'm going to present you now some traditions. There's many traditions from these books, but I'm just going to present you some examples from this book, Imdad al-Mushtaq. So this was what the concept of Wahadat al-Wujud is, the belief of unity of existence, meaning that everything is part of God and is not separate of God. We Muslims don't believe that, and it's not something part of our belief. So Ashraf Ali Tanvi on page 42 was asked about this concept. There's no need, I'm going to read it from here.
Yeah, okay.
But what we'll do,
just hold the book up.
Imdad al-Mushtaq.
Okay, from page 42, yeah? Okay, fine, carry on.
So Ashraf Ali Tanvi was asked about Wahadat al-Wujud. And by the way, the terminology Wahadat al-Wujud over time has evolved. So the meaning of how the classical scholars understood it is very much different to the way contemporary Sunni ulama, or especially Deobandi ulama, have interpreted this. However, they can't escape their true belief in Wahadat al-Wujud. And by the way, this belief, they're not open about it with everyone, okay? They say you have to reach a certain level of marifah before understanding the true realities of Wahadat al-Wujud. So they keep this stuff hidden from the layman. But their books are not hidden from us. So we have access to their books, so we know the true beliefs. So Ashraf Ali Tanvi was asked about Wahadat al-Wujud. And he replied, the issue of Wahadat al-Wujud, to which he replied that this issue in question has a right basis and is based on truth. There is no doubt on the authenticity of this issue, rather it's unanimous amongst our elders. Okay? And this is from Imdad al-Mushtaq, page 42.
I'm just looking, and it's reference 10, yeah?
Reference 10, yeah.
Okay, and just to make it very, very clear, it says it very clearly here. Ek din ek shakhs ne.
There we go, this is it.
Here we are, I'll just hold it up to you so you can see it very clear. एक दिन एक शख्स ने मसला वादत al-wujud पे सवाल किया, फरमाया ये क्या है? So this is the whole text. Let's say that he's just read, it's here.
So Ashraf Ali Tanvi confirms that the concept Wahadat al-Wujud is a basis, it has a basis, and it's a belief held amongst the Akhbarin of the Deobandi ulama. So the next page we're going to go at is page number 62, same book, Imdad al-Mushtaq, and he was asked regarding man, okay? So what he says, in order to prove this kufriyat aqidah, because these guys were really bent on proving this belief, and you'll see to what level they were bent on proving this false batil belief about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning Allah being bound in his creation. On page 62 he was asked about man, and he says the zahir, meaning the apparent of a man, is human, okay? He's an abid in the state of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But his batin, meaning his hidden, is haqq, meaning his hidden is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you want to show the page?
Yeah, here we are. I'm going to show you here very clearly. Here we are, and the swan. फरमाया गया इंसान के ताहिर. Here we are, it's just written all here. The whole text is here. The whole question and the response is in this. And I'll give you the reference number. So essentially it's number 74 of that text.
Okay, so here we go again. Same book, Imdad al-Mushtaq. And by the way, for the Urdu speaking brothers, I would really recommend you to invest in this book. This book's available out there and you can read these statements yourself. So page number 90, it was asked to Imdad al-Makki, who was one of the misguided sheikhs of the Deobandi movement, regarding a woman, okay? So what is a woman? So he replied, a woman is a reflection of a man, okay? And a man is a reflection of Allah. Thus, a woman mirrors man and a man mirrors Allah. Therefore, a woman is a reflection and a mirror of Allah, and within her is the beauty of Allah's Jamal, meaning Allah's Safat, his attribute of beauty is within inside a woman, is contained inside within a woman.
Yeah.
That's page number 90 of Imdad
Reference
al-Mushtaq.
178.
Okay, so moving on. Okay, you know when I said that they go to great measures to prove this false aqidah of theirs, let's have a look at to what extent they went to prove Allah is bound in his creation. Okay, so there was a man a believer. He was a believer. Sorry, page 100, Amdad al-Mushtaq. So there was an individual who was a believer. By the way, by no token, this is a believer according to us. This is according to them. There was a man, he was a believer. And so he was asked regarding the concept of wahadat al-wujud. Okay? Okay, so there was an individual who was a believer in God, and he was asked regarding the belief in wahadat al-wujud. Okay? So he was presented a sweet dish, halwa, and he was presented filth, dirt, ghaliz. And he was asked, this individual who was a believer, if these two are the same thing, okay, then eat them. Meaning eat the filth, eat the feces, the dirt, the najasa, and eat the sweet dish. As in mix them and eat them. So this individual, what did he do? He turned into a form of a pig, he transformed into a pig, and then he ate the dirt, and then he transformed into a human, and then he ate the sweet dish. This is on page 100 of Amdad al-Mushtaq.
And here's the text. Page 100. Yeah. So transforms into porky pig.
So he turns into porky pig. And
Peppa pig, more relevant this
Peppa
time.
pig, porky pig, whatever you want to call it. He transformed into an animal to eat the feces, and he transformed into a human to eat the sweet dish. So you can see at what level, what extent they went to prove this false belief of theirs, their ideology. And again, continuing on, same book, Amdad al-Mushtaq. Apologies. Amdad al-Mushtaq, page number 113. Page number 113 from Amdad al-Mushtaq. So it was asked regarding who spoke to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Tur. So as we know, according to the Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke directly to Musa alayhi salam. However, according to the Deobandis, this speech was not from God, rather it came from within the batin, the hidden of Musa alayhi salam. And this is on page 113, page 73, story number 113.
73. Okay, hold on.
Also, it's on page number 62 as well.
Okay. Let me just bring it out. Yeah, Hazrat Musa, page 73, and yeah, story number 113. Here we are. Here's the text. Here we are. Story of Hazrat Musa.
It's also on page 62 as well.
Okay. I can show that. I'll bring that out as well. Yeah, go.
So again, okay, there's many statements proving the concept of wahadat al-wujud from their books, okay. I just demonstrate 3-4 examples, but I just want to give the last one, okay. And this is from Amdad al-Mushtaq, page 52, story number 45. So Ashraf Ali Thanvi was asked whether it was possible to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this world. And he answered, it is possible. Meaning of the verse, the eyes cannot grasp him and he cannot grasp the eyes, is that it's not impossible to see haqq, meaning haqq Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With the zahri, the apparent vision, so he says you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the zahri, the inner vision, and also from the zahri, meaning from the inner vision, and from the batini, meaning from the batini vision, and also from the zahri vision, from the hidden and the apparent. He says it's not an issue to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he gives an example of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and so forth. And this is on Imdad al-Mushtaq, page 52, which Hassan Bahari said.
And it's story number 45, yeah?
So in terms of uniting on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're absolutely right in that we cannot agree on the same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who's bound in his creation. And we do not mean to offend anyone here, okay? Our intention is not to offend anyone. But just as a doctor when he wants to cure his patient of a disease, his intention is not to hurt him. Rather, his intention is to correct and cure the individual, and that's what our job is here today. Consider us as your doctors, and we're giving you the correct dosage to understand why your belief is false and why we cannot agree in the same Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the end of the first video.
They should read their books before they read ours.
Absolutely.
Don't forget about figure out your own house first.
Yeah.
You'll see our house later.
Exactly.
They can only read our books if they understand Urdu.
In fact, we will absolutely.
They don't understand Urdu, so how can they read their
They
own
can't read
books?
their own books.
Exactly.
That's why they.
Okay, you may be against this. You may say that we don't accept this, we don't agree with it. Fine. Then come forward and condemn this belief. Say that, we misquoted Ashraf Ali Thanvi. He does not believe in this concept of Wahdat al-Wujud. You don't have these such narrations filled in your book suggesting that, people went to great measures of eating fetuses and stuff like that to prove
Becoming
that,
pigs.
becoming pigs and stuff, transforming into animals and stuff. But yeah, that's the end of first session on the concept of Wahdat al-Wujud. The next session, inshallah, we'll be discussing about the karamat of the awliya according to the Deobandis Akida.